It's the beginning of October. We're still in the Swiss stage at Worlds, and yet the LEC offseason is already heating up, and we've already got some pretty crazy stuff, and it seems like already so many dominoes are starting to fall. That's what I want to talk about a little bit in this video today. Go over some of the things we've already seen happen that are maybe a little bit less, not worth an entire video in and of themselves, and just some things that LEC Wooloo has said himself lately as well. So he tweeted out this a couple days ago. He said, I get asked a lot why offseason is starting so early for LEC and LCS. Again, we've already seen some pretty big moves. We saw Irrelevant, we saw Shio, we saw Cloud9 Sven, we saw Fudge. These are some very, very good players, and honestly some very highly sought after commodities in the offseason as well, already finding teams for the next season. Like I said, today's October 7th. World Swiss stage is still going on. We're not even in the knockout stage yet. Very crazy. So, Wooloo wants to explain a little bit. He says it usually, why it's starting so early when usually happens after Worlds. Here is his opinion. Just an opinion. Many teams are going low budget and can't contest top players anyway, so there's no reason to wait on them. Again, rather than trying to, sometimes there's like that one really big player that everyone is going after, and then once he signs, then they all go for their second, third, fourth, fifth option, whatever. But again, if you know you're not even going to be in contention for those top players or a couple of those top players because you're not willing to spend enough money, then you might as well just go after your second, third, fourth, fifth option or whatever already, and Wooloo's hinting at maybe, hey, that's what some teams are doing. I don't know, but whatever. No reason to wait on them. Some teams also think betting on rookies for the long term is a better strategy anyway. Now, in certain instances, obviously, yes, it is a better strategy. And I know a lot of fans have been critical in the past of teams recycling the same veterans over and over again when a veteran has already had 6 chances on 5 different teams and they've already proven that they'll be pretty good but never quite good enough. So, yeah, hey, it could be good to go with some rookies or some ERL talent or whatever. Same thing in the LCS with people and wanting to go after more academy talent, stuff like that. Could that also just be organizations saying that because they want to go cheaper and they want to give a good excuse for doing so? Hey, maybe, I don't know. That's just me thinking a little bit there, thinking out loud. Non-Worlds teams have realized that it's not at their advantage to wait on top teams, so they start pushing for agreements early. So, hey, teams like Mad Lions, teams like Fnatic, they're busy at Worlds right now. They have some very crazy games going on right now. I know Mad Lions just got eliminated, so maybe not them, but Fnatic, they're busy at Worlds right now. So some of these other teams, like your BDSs and teams like that, they can take advantage of this. Hey, while Fnatic is busy and doing a million different things, we can go out and start our offseason. We can go snag some of these top players we want. We can go get the guys we're looking for. If we're a BDS, we can go out and sign Irrelevant, and hey, that actually gives us a pretty significant advantage. And even though 2024 wasn't our year, maybe we'll have it leg up on Fnatic in 2025. I think it's actually a very interesting thing. There's a general expectation that teams at Worlds won't change much. So that's honestly a rumor and a banger in and of itself. I don't know what that means. Does that mean Mad Lions isn't going to be changing much? Fnatic, G2, we'll see. And what does not changing much mean? Does that mean a couple players, one player, no players? Just letting you know what Wooloo said. However, this trend has some downsides. If teams at Worlds do end up making changes, teams will miss out on better pickups. Obviously, if G2 does decide to drop one of their players, G2 has a bunch of amazing players. One of these teams that has already signed a bunch of people, maybe they would have been interested in these G2 players had they specifically waited. But again, waiting has downsides as well. So it's this, you can't win no matter what. If all players, and honestly, this ends up being really bad for the players as well. Because if a great player does get dropped, but then everyone has already signed and locked their rosters, then they don't end up anywhere. And that's why we see these Team McDonald's teams end up, forming sometimes or whatever. But whatever. If all players and teams are at the same time on the market, then good players are likelier to end up on the same team. So in my opinion, it decreases the potential of top teams in our regions, which is bad. Obviously, we want great teams in the LEC. We want great teams in the LCS. We need great teams in the LEC and LCS, but there's more than one way to build a great team. Obviously, super teams don't always work out, but a good team is never comprised of bad players. You still need good players. They just need to synergize well as well. And yeah, if you can't get the best players or some of the best players in the region together, we're never going to compete with these top teams from the East. These G2 teams that have been very, very competitive, they've had insanely strong players at every position. It's not like these G2 teams have been 4 scrubs plus caps and then they win MSI. No, these have been some very great players being put together in all kinds of different iterations and formations. It's inconvenient for both fans and teams to have to watch Worlds and offseason at the same time. I absolutely agree. It does take away from some of the hype of Worlds and also takes away from some of the hype of these offseason transactions as well. Offseason is one of my favorite times as a League of Legends fan, but guess what? I'm hyped for Worlds right now. G2 is doing some cool stuff. FlyQuest and TL have a chance to make it out. Fnatic's there. They're killing it. And yeah, I love the offseason, but you only have so much time in the day. You have to sleep. You have to eat. You have to go to work. You have to do all this other stuff. There's only so much time to get excited about all this different stuff. And it's not impossible. We see good players end up teamless due to falling too late in the dominoes. Again, that's something I did already talk about. Express says number 5, X broke verbal agreement with Team Y to join Z after Worlds incoming, and Wooloo said yes, that's very possible as well. Again, if these teams do agree on some verbal agreements, but then hey, a new player, an unexpected player pops up, maybe, or an unexpected team pops up for one of these players, maybe those verbal agreements get broken and we end up splitting some stuff. That always gets hairy. That always gets messy as well. This person said, please tell me there's rumors or even inklings of any good NA Academy talent getting promoted. LEC Wooloo said, yes, we will see a few players promoted. So that's exciting. Somebody asked him, any info where Reeker and Kidui, I don't know how you say that guy's name. I've never seen that guy before. Whatever. I've never heard that name said, I don't think. Any info on where they're going to play? Wooloo says one of them will be in the LEC for sure. Obviously, most people would expect Reeker to be that man, but we'll have to wait and see. We got to translate this one. Since Worlds is in Europe, players stayed there, and LEC teams can test their potential rosters against team playing in Worlds. And Wooloo says, no, most teams recruit without a tryout, so that's not really a big thing there. What do you think about Reckless coming back to EU? He says he thinks that would be hype. Anything about BDS Jungle? Not yet. Now, some of the other things that have randomly been going on, Wooloo also said, with Shield locked into Team Heretics, where would you guys like to see Yankos play? Because obviously Yankos is out, so he's going to need a new team if he's going to be playing next season. This guy Daniel D said, in Europe, seems only teams available are SK, Vitality, or BDS. Wooloo said, you forgot a few teams. And then we also have Yankos himself chiming in with the Yankos McDonald's jersey. So does that hint at, or is he maybe joking about the market not looking so great for Yankos? Is it possible he could potentially end up teamless for 2025? Obviously, that would be a shame. I do hope he ends up somewhere, but just kind of thought this was funny. Wanted to share this with you guys. We also had the Sheep Esports French account tweeting out this Niski with the McDonald's, the Burger King, and the Q. I don't know. Somebody in the comments told me that the Q, or told somebody that the Q means for quick. I didn't know if it meant Quiznos or what was going on. I've never seen the Q. I don't know if this is something we even have in America. Obviously, I live in the United States, but thought it was funny either way. Obviously, so hey, we have Yankos hinting at him being on Team McDonald's. We have Sheep Esports maybe hinting at troubles for Niski going on. And again, it would be a shame if we have both of these players out of the league. Obviously, I hope they both end up on teams. It's going to be interesting to follow. Niski did tweet out fake news. Is he joking? Is he being serious? I don't know. But Niski has definitely had a ton of funny tweets going on. He said, get your own SK Draven emote in the shop right now, which is, that obviously seems pretty convenient timing. Is he hinting at troubles with him and SK going on? We know that Niski was being considered for one of the other mid lane positions that we had talked about previously as well. I think I have the transfer portal pulled up here. This was for, Team Vitality. We had reported that Niski was being considered for that position. So obviously maybe that meant Niski could be potentially leaving SK, but obviously Vitality's now locked up. So I don't know. Niski and Adam have been tweeting out a bunch at each other. Obviously, Adam just recently lost his top lane spot on Team BDS. Adam says, desperate attempt, my brother, I recognize. And then Niski replies and says, let's see, translates section English, my brother Adam, and then tweeting about Spain, maybe talking about him going down to the ERLs or something like that. I don't know. We also had another tweet from Niski about him and Adam as well down here a little bit, where he did say two brothers heading to America with him and Adam in that as well. So I don't know, all kinds of different speculation and jokes and memes and stuff being thrown around about guys like Niski and Adam and Yankos and all these guys who are currently teamless but are going to be hot commodities on this transfer market for sure. Could end up with a team, could end up with not a team. We'll have to wait and see. As far as some of the other moves we've seen get done and players we have seen get locked for next season, according to our Sheep Esports Transfer Hub, we do have Jackie's locked in for Giant X for next season. We do have Shio and Flockhead both locked in for Heretics for next season. Carmine Corp, we have Vladdy in the mid lane. Rogue, Larson coming back. Team Vitality, we have Nagnako or Naknako and Chayek for them in the solo lane. Still needing some other players there. And then Team BDS, the most filled out roster so far with the relevant Nuke, Ice, and Peruse. So yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. Again, this is a solid amount of players already being locked in considering today is October 7th. Like I said, the Swiss stage of Worlds is still underway. Also, another story that we haven't covered just yet, Gilhoto has reached a verbal agreement with Giant X for the LEC to be a coach for them. So that's an exciting thing as well. Lots of different stuff going on all over the place. Obviously, we can't make a individual video about every single one of these. So I did want to get a lot of these stories out to you guys now. And also wanted to have Wooloo explain to you guys about maybe why things are happening so early and just a little update for the LEC offseason right now and LCS as well. But LCS, we've only really seen two big moves so far. Obviously, whatever's going on with JoJo and Berserker, but Sven and Fudge being the two guys that we've locked in for new teams for next season. So yeah, things are heating up, and I'm sure things are going to get even crazier over the next couple weeks. So this is right where you guys are going to find out all that new information. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest. And of course, as always, our offseason coverage is brought to you by Holy. We're powered by them. Definitely check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get a nice little discount on Holy. Great tasting energy drinks that just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.